The signal and first contact. Dr. Maya Chen's fingers trembled as she adjusted the frequency filters on Arecibo Observatory's massive radio telescope. For 6 straight nights, the same pattern had appeared during her shift, a sequence too ordered to be cosmic background radiation, but too alien to match any known human transmission protocol. "This can't be right," she muttered, rubbing her eyes as the midnight hours stretched toward dawn. The observatory, nestled in Puerto Rico's lush mountains, had weathered hurricanes and funding cuts, but still stood as humanity's premier cosmic listening post. The pattern appeared again, stronger this time. Not random static, but a clear mathematical sequence. Prime numbers, followed by what appeared to be coordinates, and then something else. Something that made Maya's blood run cold. It wasn't just mathematics. There was an emotional quality to the transmission, a desperate rhythm that transcended language. It was a cry for help. 3 days later, Maya stood before the hastily assembled United Nations Security Council, her research notes clutched in sweating hands. "The signal contains advanced encryption that initially appeared as noise," she explained, projecting the decoded visuals. "But when properly filtered, it reveals both technological schematics and what can only be described as a distress message. They call themselves the Calderans. And you're certain this isn't a hoax?" The Russian ambassador's skepticism was evident. Maya shook her head. "The transmission originated from a point near Ta City, 12 light-years away. No human technology could fake that. More importantly, the physics described in these schematics, they're beyond our current understanding. But they work on paper. My colleagues have confirmed it." General Darius Ward, the recently appointed head of the newly formed Earth Defense Coalition, leaned forward. "And the threat they're running from? These. Vorax." Maya pulled up the most disturbing images, crystalline structures that moved with terrible purpose, consuming everything in their path. According to the Calderans, the Vorax are a hive-minded species that harvests civilizations for resources and energy. They've destroyed 17 worlds already. She swallowed hard. "The Calderans say Earth is next. Why contact us?" asked the Chinese representative. "If they're so advanced, why do they need our help?" "That's the most interesting part," Maya replied. "They've studied us for decades. The Calderans are technologically superior, but physiologically incapable of violence. Their neural structures evolved without aggression. They can create weapons but cannot use them. The very concept triggers a neurological shutdown." She changed the slide to show comparative brain scans. Humans, however, possess something unique, what they call the warrior paradox. We're capable of both extreme violence and profound empathy. In their words, "You fight for those who cannot." Silence fell over the chamber as the implications sank in. "How long do we have?" General Ward finally asked. 19 days before the first Calderan refugees arrive. Approximately 3 months before the Vorax scout ships detect Earth. The world transformed overnight. Borders that had divided nations for centuries became meaningless in the face of extinction. The Earth Defense Coalition, once a token diplomatic gesture, became humanity's unified command structure. Maya found herself at the center of it all, Earth's de facto ambassador to an alien species. When the first Calderan ship breached Earth's atmosphere, she stood on the landing pad, heart racing, as the crystalline vessel shimmered into solidity. The beings that emerged defied expectation. Slender, with iridescent skin that rippled with changing colors expressing emotions beyond human understanding. Their large, compound eyes fixed on Maya, with an intensity that felt physical. "I am Ilaris," the first Calderan communicated, touching its forehead to Maya's in a gesture so gentle yet so filled with emotion that several military personnel turned away, embarrassed by the tears suddenly streaming down their faces. "Last speaker of the High Council, you heard our call." Within days, Calderan technology began revolutionizing human capabilities. Quantum computers, matter manipulation, propulsion systems that bent physics, all freely offered in exchange for sanctuary and protection. General Ward oversaw the integration of alien tech into Earth's military. "They've given us the tools," he told his commanders. "Now we show them what humans can do with them." Maya worked alongside Ilaris, bridging the gap between species. "Your people create such beautiful things," she marveled, examining a Calderan energy matrix. "Art and science perfectly blended." "We built gardens," Ilaris replied, skin shifting to a melancholy blue, "while you built warships. Now we need warships to save our gardens." The contradiction wasn't lost on humanity. A species so advanced they could manipulate matter at the quantum level, yet so vulnerable they needed the protection of a civilization that still fought over fossil fuels. Special training facilities were established worldwide. Volunteers underwent experimental procedures that combined human neural patterns with Calderan biotechnology, creating soldiers who could interface directly with alien weapon systems while maintaining the human capacity for strategic aggression. Maya witnessed the transformation of Earth with mixed emotions. Cities retrofitted with shield generators, orbital platforms constructed at unprecedented speed, children playing in schoolyards now protected by energy fields disguised as normal buildings. "Is this what your people feared?" Ilaris asked as they watched fighters testing new propulsion systems that left sonic booms in their wake. That contact with alien life would change humanity forever. "Yes," Maya admitted, "but not like this. We feared conquest, not cooperation." The first Vorax scout appeared near Jupiter's orbit exactly when the Calderans predicted. Earth's newly formed Space Defense Force engaged immediately, led by Admiral Teresa Reyes aboard the EDF Prometheus. Those watching from Earth held their breath as the human vessel, retrofitted with Calderan technology, but piloted with human instinct, executed maneuvers that would have been impossible months earlier. When the Vorax scout shattered under concentrated fire, spontaneous celebrations erupted worldwide. For a moment, humanity stood truly united in victory. In her quarters that night, Maya found Ilaris watching the celebrations with an unreadable expression. "Your people celebrate," the alien observed, "but this was one scout. The Calderans have a saying. The first raindrop is not the storm." Maya nodded grimly. Admiral Reyes said the same thing. "Earth is preparing for the deluge. The Vorax will come with everything now." Ilaris's skin shifted to a pattern Maya had never seen before, fear mixed with resolve. "They've never encountered resistance like this. You've done something they cannot comprehend." "What's that?" "You've surprised them. In 17 conquests, nothing has ever surprised them before." Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, General Ward and Admiral Reyes finalized Earth's defense plans. Maya and Ilaris were present as advisors, but the strategy was uniquely human. "The Vorax expect us to defend conventionally," Reyes explained, pointing to simulation models. "Every species they've encountered has tried to hold orbital positions, protect population centers. They have algorithms that predict these patterns. So we do the opposite," Ward concluded. "Operation Hornet's Nest. We make Earth the trap, not the target." As if confirming their predictions, the EDC's deep space sensors detected hundreds of faster-than-light signatures approaching from the direction of Ta City. The storm had arrived. Humanity strikes back. They came not in ships, but in mountains, living crystal structures 50 kilometers long that darkened the sky as they breached Earth's heliosphere. Earth's combined fleet, arrayed in defensive formation near the asteroid belt, looked like toys against these world killers. "My God," breathed Admiral Reyes from the bridge of the EDF Defiant. "How do we fight something that size?" "Implement Operation Hornet's Nest," General Ward ordered from his command center beneath the Antarctic ice. The order rippled through the fleet. Instead of maintaining their defensive line, Earth's ships scattered in seemingly random patterns throughout the asteroid belt. From the Lunar Command Center, civilian analysts watched in confusion as humanity's first line of defense appeared to break before the battle even began. "What are they doing?" demanded the President of the United Nations Emergency Council. Maya, now serving as Chief Xenolinguistic Officer, answered quietly. They're not retreating. They're positioning. The battle defied conventional description. Vorax crystalline beams sliced through space, while Human-Calderan hybrid ships executed maneuvers that bent the laws of physics. The neural-linked pilots, volunteers connected to their vessels through experimental Calderan technology, achieved impossible reaction times. But the cost was steep. When their linked squadmates died, the survivors experienced their deaths as if they were their own. On Earth, live feeds showed 40% of human forces vaporized in the first hour. Markets crashed. Religious services ran continuously. The last transmission from Mars Colony showed civilians singing their planetary anthem as Vorax harvesters descended. Then Admiral Rice's true plan became clear. A scattered fleet wasn't retreating but positioning for asymmetric warfare. Nimble attack craft used asteroids as shields and weapons. Sacrificial drones carrying fusion bombs exploited weaknesses in Vorax sensory systems. When the Vorax Supreme Vessel broadcasted demands for surrender with horrific footage of planets being harvested for energy, Admiral Rice's response became instantly legendary. We are not like the others. We are what nightmares fear. Earth itself came under direct attack. Beijing, New Lagos, and Nova Sao Paulo were hit first. The Vorax, following patterns that worked on 17 other civilizations, expected mass panic and surrender. Instead, they found empty cities. Earth's population centers had been evacuated into underground arcs built with Calderan technology. General Ward watched grimly as the Vorax established harvesting operations in the ruins of Earth's greatest cities. Begin transmission to all command cells, he ordered. Operation Trojan Horse is active. On the surface, scattered human resistance fighters drew Vorax attention with guerrilla attacks, creating the impression of disorganized survivors. The massive crystalline invaders moved with algorithmic efficiency, establishing processing centers to begin extracting Earth's resources. Deep beneath Beijing's ruins, Colonel Lian Zhao addressed the 5,000 Special Forces troops under her command. Their bodies were enhanced with experimental Calderan bio-augmentation that made them nearly invisible to Vorax sensors. The surface is not lost, she told them, her voice carrying through the vast underground chamber. It's bait. In underground facilities worldwide, millions of humans waited in silence as the enemy's harvesting machinery penetrated deeper into the crust. The Vorax followed their standard invasion protocol, never considering that this time might be different. On General Ward's command, a timer counted down on screens worldwide. When it reached 0, he pressed his palm against the biometric scanner and spoke the single word: rise. The Earth moved. Not the planet itself, but what lay beneath its surface. Blast doors concealed by ruins slid open. Tunnels hidden in subway systems disgorged armed troops. What the Vorax had calculated as random resistance fighters suddenly multiplied 1,000-fold as humanity's hidden armies emerged from their underground sanctuaries. Colonel Zhao led the Beijing offensive personally, her strike team moving like ghosts through the crystalline harvesting structures. The Calderan bio-augmentation made them nearly invisible to Vorax sensors, appearing as ambient heat signatures rather than combatants. Remember your training, she sub-vocalized through their neural comms. Hit command nodes only. Every Vorax is connected to a hierarchy. Cut off the head, the body follows. Across all former population centers, the pattern repeated. Human special forces, enhanced with technology that would have been science fiction months ago, struck with precision at Vorax command structures. The invaders, who had never faced meaningful resistance after orbital bombardment in 17 previous conquests, found themselves suddenly fighting an enemy that understood their weaknesses. Meanwhile, Admiral Rice unveiled the second phase of humanity's counterattack. Execute Operation Phoenix, she ordered. Beyond Jupiter's orbit, where radiation and the gas giant's massive electromagnetic field created a natural stealth barrier, Earth's second fleet, thought destroyed but actually hidden using Calderan cloaking technology, powered up their engines. Led by Admiral Reyes aboard the EDF Nemesis, the hidden armada used Jupiter's gravity well to slingshot toward the extended Vorax supply lines. For Earth, Reyes transmitted as 600 warships emerged from hiding, catching the Vorax rear echelon completely by surprise. On the ground, the most crucial operation was underway. In the ruins of Singapore, Maya worked frantically alongside Calderan scientists in a secure bunker 1 kilometer beneath the devastated financial district. Their subject, a captured Vorax subcommander, its crystalline body contained within a specialized isolation field. The neural patterns are stabilizing, Maya reported as they separated the alien from its hive network. It's becoming autonomous. Elaris's skin pulsed with concentration. We never considered this possible. The Vorax hive mind was thought to be unbreakable. Humans specialize in breaking things, Maya replied with grim humor, even things that shouldn't be broken. The separated Vorax entity became the key to humanity's ultimate victory. Once disconnected from the hive, individual Vorax units exhibited something unexpected: free will and self-preservation instinct. The Human-Calderan science team developed a frequency that could sever the connection across entire battle groups. The tide turned. Vorax forces, suddenly fragmented into individual units without central coordination, fell into disarray. The Earth Defense Force struck mercilessly, driving the invaders back system by system. 3 weeks after what would become known as the Rising, Admiral Rice's fleet surrounded the Vorax command vessel near Saturn's rings. "You were wrong about us," she transmitted as the final assault began. "Humanity doesn't just fight. We survive." The victory was costly. 1/3 of Earth's surface lay in ruins. Billions sheltered underground or in orbital habitats. But humanity had done the impossible, repelled an enemy that had never known defeat. In the aftermath, as reconstruction began, Maya found Elaris standing alone on a cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. The sunset painted the sky in colors that matched the aliens' shifting skin tones. 17 worlds, Elaris said quietly. 17 civilizations cried out as we did. Only you answered. "Maybe that's why we survived," Maya replied. "Because we know what it means to be alone in the universe." News arrived daily of Vorax retreats across nearby star systems. Other alien civilizations, long hiding from the harvesters, cautiously emerged to make contact with the species that had done the impossible. The Galactic Council wishes to extend membership to Earth, Elaris announced during a United Nations session 1 year after the Rising. They've never offered this to a species so young before. General Ward, now bearing the scars of direct combat with Vorax forces, asked the question on everyone's mind. And what role do they envision for humanity in this council? Elaris's skin shifted to a pattern that Maya had come to recognize as deep respect mixed with amusement. "They're calling you the Guardians," the alien replied. "Those who fight for those who cannot." Earth was transformed, not conquered by aliens as humanity had long feared, but elevated by them. Calderan gardens now bloomed alongside human cities. Children of both species played in parks protected by technology that blended art and science. And in deep space, Earth's new fleet patrolled the boundaries of what was becoming known throughout the galaxy as the Protected Sphere, a growing alliance of peaceful civilizations under the watchful protection of the species that had once feared it was alone in the universe. Humanity had answered one cry for help, and, in doing so, found its place among the stars. Not as conquerors, not as the conquered, but as defenders of those who could not defend themselves.